Hey guys, this is the oil I've been using in my Suzuki Cara. It's a Mobile One track use only oil. It's a 0W-50. It has a high zinc content, all kinds of fun stuff to help protect your track use car. If you look at the back of this label, there's a bunch of stuff here. It'll say boosted levels of anti-wear protection with zinc and phosphorus, exceptional high temperature protection and high RPM engine operation.
It's safe to say the RPM range here, up to 9,000 RPM, is high RPM usage. I frequently visit 9,000 RPM all the time.
Oh, actually, with the N1 computer installed, the red line's now 9,800 RPM. Why? There's no power up there, but it's fun to hear this thing scream. And it's not recommended for street use. I'm going by what the internet says here. This is track use only because of all the extra additives in the stuff. Apparently that stuff is really bad for your cats. It'll plug up all that in there. Like, actually, this is a better view here. It'll plug up all these cells and basically ruin your cat. It's for track use because your car won't have a catalytic converter if it's a track use only car. I don't remember exactly what the number was, but I believe I read that the oil is only good for up to 500 miles of track use. Obviously with track use, you're probably on the throttle all the time and then you're always in the boost, so everything will break down faster and everything's super hot. So theoretically 500 miles of track use is a lot. This hasn't got to see any track use yet, but I'm a frequent visitor of 9,000 RPM. I'm on it all the time. Sure, it's probably not boosting all the time, but you know, it was running hot in one of my prior videos I was showing. I put over 500 miles on this oil already. I wanted to know what the oil was like so I could decide what I'm gonna do with the oil, whether or not if it's any good. I wanted to give the motor the best chance that it could get. I've always wondered about this Blackstone Oil Analysis stuff, and I was curious, so I actually got myself a kit. I bought their little vacuum pump too, so I can just pull oil from my dipstick. You get a little note. You gotta fill in all the stuff about your oil in your car. You get this little container. It's inside. Get a little oil container. Get some sort of an oil soaking material. Get a little plastic baggie, I presume. Then get, what is this? Some sort of a label for your oil type and the date. So this is just a shipping container. It's just a little black thing. How this works is you take the hose that they supply. It's basically like water hose for like a refrigerator. You put it in the thing, you tighten this. Now this is a sealed thing for your container. Put the container on here, screw it tight. Remove your dipstick. I'm gonna put mine on this paper towel on the floor. And then you're supposed to feed this tube into the dipstick and pull out at least 3 ounces. They say they can do this with 1, but you know, try to get as much as you can for them. Feeding my tube in the dipstick hole. I don't know how far I can go, so I'm gonna try to pump now. Not getting anything, so probably not far enough. Not getting anything. Am I not doing this right? Pull it out a little bit more. Maybe I'm just too far in. I have 1 drop in here. I bet this will work a lot better if I can actually figure out how deep to have this. Like, this is outrageous. Okay. It's been like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been way too long. I probably don't recommend this unless it's really easy to get through your dipstick and figure out how far it is. I've tried a bunch of things. It didn't work, but it's probably easier to do this. Well, no, it's not probably. It's definitely easier to do this to collect your oil sample when you drain your oil to do an oil change. So I probably won't be using this thing again. I'm still going to complete this, I guess, now that I put this much effort into it. Oh my God, actually, here it is. There's oil. I've struck gold. Oh my God. Okay, all right, I take that back. This works pretty well. Okay. Jesus. Another problem. How much oil is 3 ounces? I'm gonna fill this bottle up to like 3/4, I guess, and call it a day. It started to come out really fast. I had to like kind of lightly loosen this to break the suction so it doesn't just rip a bunch of oil out and spill it everywhere. You can see the oil starting to kind of snake back into the dipstick to go back into the sump. Well, here's my oil sample. This is my car's P-test. So I'm gonna send this in for analysis and let you guys know what this came out to be. I don't really know what I'm expecting. So I'm supposed to put the cap back on, of course. Make it tight. Cool. Last part before sending this out, fill out the piece of paper that comes with your kit. Put in like the oil information, the car information, like your payment, whatnot if you haven't paid yet, and then answer the questions on the back. Write your name or customer number on top. Take the oil sample, make sure it's tight. And then you're supposed to wrap this in the black stuff. This is in case it spills. At least you have this to help soak up some of it. Oops, I'm messing this up. There we go. Roll that up, put this into the bag. Make sure you seal it back up. Put this into, oh, gonna let the air out. Put this into here. All right, now seal it up. Okay. Slip all the other paperwork stuff into the container. Okay, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just gonna throw it in here too. Make sure you cap this off real tight. There we go. Blackstone provides a postage paid envelope, so just drop this thing in there. Okay, and seal it, and then you're ready to send it out. Give this to the post office and wait for your results.
A week and a half later, I got something like this. I'm going to condense it down a little bit so it's easier to see. At the top here, they give me a quick blurb with some comments about the oil. They're telling me that I can feel free to keep this oil in here for at least 2,000 more miles. The oil's in good condition. Viscosity is proper. There's no significant contamination. And the TBN shows plenty of active acid-fighting additive left at 5.3. The Mobile One protected and lubricated this engine very well. The wear numbers are excellent. The universal column shows the usual wear for a Suzuki F6A motor because there's other people that have submitted stuff for a Suzuki F6A motor, and they're showing that there's wear after 3,700 kilometers of oil use. My sample wasn't in place that long yet, but most wear metals are lower to match. That's a very good first report. So over time, if you submit more samples, you're going to get more averages to kind of figure out how your engine is doing and what the oil is like. In the second column over here, you can see what my oil sample has shown. It's all these different elements in parts per million. On the third column, it's my averages for this particular car. I only have one sample so far, so it's exactly the same. The universal averages on the right is compared off of averages from everyone else that have submitted samples for their F6A motor. Then on the bottom, you're going to see some more oil properties that they have tested for, and everything seems to look pretty good.
A little update on the hinge situation here. Let me get this out of the way. I'm not installing that yet because I want to be able to drive the car back to back with and without it, just to get like an objective view on what's going on.
This is the little trunk hinge that was made from the blueprint that was uploaded to the Facebook group a little while ago. The blueprint isn't exactly correct. Apparently this is way off. I'm gonna put this up against this one so you can see what the angles look like. Yes, this is for the other side, but it's easier for me to show you this side without the air intake in the way. The hinge will go up against here. You're going to see that the angle is not exactly the same. This is bent the wrong way. So in order for this to even line up, it had to be like this. This is close, but now this doesn't align with the trunk over there. You got like a 2-finger gap right here for the angle to be the same. And if you forced it, no, actually no, it wouldn't. I don't know, it might work. Yeah, but this isn't the same thing as this. Yeah. Well, bottom line, this isn't the same thing as this. Doesn't matter though. So my engineer friend that's been helping me design this stuff, he wasn't happy with this, and he wasn't happy with the current situation, and he certainly wasn't happy with how this was. It's just wobbly as hell. All of this just annoyed him. He was not impressed. So this was 1/8" aluminum. We believe this will bend the same way the 1/16 steel or something. I forget what that is, but that steel, it'll have the same problem with the wobble. We believe we'll need to reinforce the pivot point and the thickness of this stuff. The trouble here is on this side, there's an air intake pipe that everybody has. It kind of reduces the amount of clearance we have. I mean, yeah, there's room for a thicker piece of metal, but we'll see what we can do out of that. I told him the #1 goal was to have this to be quick detach, so you can easily remove it and put it back on for whatever reason you're going to be messing with it, and not have to realign it every time that you do that. The whole time I've been talking to him about the situation was I wanted to keep this the same way, and I just wanted a quick detach pin, like probably at the end here. That way you could just pull it out and the whole thing will separate, and then you could put it back and align it back in. He said that's not that great of an idea. It'll work, but now you have to look in there every time and stick your head in there to fix this and make sure you line it up and pop the pin in. So what he was thinking was actually up here, we would make this part detachable. This would probably bolt together, and then it would just separate, like probably some sort of a pin system up here. You would detach this, there would be a block here, and then there'd be the hinge. All you have to do is flip the hinge back up and push the pins back in. That sounds a lot better than my idea. It'll be worked on, and then I'll update you when we have another prototype or something. We'll probably 3D print it before making it out of metal, then we can test fit it to confirm that it's good. Then all kinds of metal products will come out. They will all emerge, and you can buy them. Once we're done with the back and we kind of figure out what we can do, we're gonna work on the front one. Imagine if you could just take this off willy-nilly. Once we're done with the back one, we're gonna go right into working on the front one here. Imagine you could just take this off and not have to realign it every time, and everything would be perfect. Imagine that. That'd be real cool. Because then that hood wouldn't have to be permanently mounted to the wall. It can get painted, and I could just switch back and forth depending on my mood. And I promise I'm still working on the Carryccino build here. I've hit a few snags and procrastination, kid stuff, and life stuff, whatever, but I need to get this fixed. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already to follow along on this build and this build. And I'll see you next time. Visit my website, anythingwheel.com. Go check out the K-Car goodies that I have, primarily for the Suzuki Cara and Autozam AZ-1. But soon, I don't know what I'm doing, but I am still building that knowledge base, and I'm periodically updating it. So check back. You'll find all kinds of cool information about this car.